Hi everyone, happy evening. Very good evening to one and all, and I welcome you all to the third day of the privileged training of graphic design to UI UX course, which is organized by Rotary Club of Madras Metro and presented and supported by Tech-iera Innovations Private Limited. So this is Ramya talking here, and yes, very good evening. Yeah, good evening, Yani. Good evening, Benita. Okay, so as people are coming in and they have started seeing this live, now I will directly get into uh, today's session without any further ado. So here I have my Illustrator file that we were working with yesterday. All right, and when I show you this one, so I am sure that all of you have received my message, and uh, so many of you have already started doing the same, and so many of you have started working with the file. So I really appreciate all those efforts. So we are going to proceed further with the design. All right. So I have few other announcements and few other uh, addressing that I need to show for other people. So we'll be doing it in the later part of the session. And as usual, you will receive your attendance link today as well, but in the later part of the session. So before I could get into all that, I want to tell you that please don't get panicked if I say that attendance link is up and you did not get the attendance link. So please don't worry if you face this kind of situation. Anyhow, you will be getting the attendance link. So having said that, today we are going to get into this reference that we are recreating from this one, and as we recreate that, we will also explore into few other tools and techniques that we can follow in Illustrator. So we stopped till creating the eyes. Okay, so till now we have created our eyes like this, and here I kind of feel that my eyes that I have given over here is not so proper. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is, since yesterday we grouped them, okay, when I select, the whole of the eye is getting selected. All right, but I don't want the entire eye to be selected. I am just concentrating in the center part of the eye, which is black and white in color. Okay, so just to select that alone, what I'm doing is I'm going to my layers panel. I hope all of you remember what is layer and how does layer play an important role in the software. So I have opened this layers panel, and then I am opening this group which we grouped together. So from that, I am going to select just the black circle and then the white circle. All right. So now I am just going to take a quick look on our reference here. Okay. So when we take a quick look on a reference, so the ellipse looks straight. Okay. It is not rotated. The ellipse itself looks very straight. And when we compare this white circle, it is just nearby the top left corner of the outer ellipse, which is black in color. So here in our design, we are just going to cross check if that is the exact case. All right. But when we see here, it is not the exact case. Our ellipse looks somewhere tilted. Okay. Somewhere rotated. So for that, what I'm going to do is I am going to select that black circle alone, and then I am going to make it look straight. All right. And then here again, I'm going to look at the reference image, and then I'm going to position the eye. All right. So where is the black circle here inside the white circle is? It's somewhere in the center part of the white circle. So I am going to realign my eyes as well in the very same aspect. So here I am going to bring it a bit closer like this. All right. And then I'm going to make it look even more bigger. So the same thing. Okay, so since I said I grouped them all together, so when I tried to move this white ellipse, everything started moving. So I am going to avoid that, and then here I am selecting the ellipse layer alone. All right, so having selected that, now I am going to rotate this as well, and then here I am bringing it closer, and I have placed it here near the position as we were able to see here in the reference. Okay, so it's a bit closer to the top position of the black ellipse. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to again select just the white circle alone, and then I'm just going to place it right near the top part of the black circle. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I will just duplicate this entire thing. Okay. And then I will go here to the properties to reverse how it looks. So I am just going to press on this icon which says flip horizontally. Okay. In case. So this is the other tool that you are learning today. So in case if you are trying to bring in the mirror of something or flip in something, so this is the tool that you are going to handle. So if you want to flip it horizontally, you have to give this icon, and in case if you want to flip it vertically, you have to click on this icon which shows flip vertically here. All right, so now we are just going to flip it horizontally. So after we have done it, all right, now here I will remove this eye, and then I will try to place it here. Okay, so now my eyes are flipped, and they look similar. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do for our character is we are going to give a depth for the body. Okay, can you see here? There is a darker shade of this shape that we have here. So in our image, if you could notice, it is just plain. Okay, there is no depth which is shown. So for that, what I'm going to do, as I was okay, Jasmine is asking us, did we have previous classes video for reference? You mean, okay, today it will be shared with you. So, yes, I will tell you how you can navigate to it. And Yarni has asked us, can you repeat it again about the flipping tool? Yes, Yarni, I will do it. Okay, so as of now, I'll just show you how to create the depth, and then we'll go to the uh, repeat of the flipping tool. All right. So now here, as I told you yesterday, in case if you want to create a duplicate of a shape or of anything, what is the tool that you can handle? Can you tell me the instruction? What is the tool that we can handle if in case we are trying to duplicate a shape or anything? Yes, I am looking for the responses. So how can I duplicate this shape which is selected? So in order to create this depth that we have here, obviously it seems that we have to duplicate and we have to bring in this particular color which is here. But what is the step that we should follow in order to duplicate something? Yes, I am just looking out for the answers. How can we duplicate something that we have? Okay. Shape plus alt. Amazing, Srivashni. So it's exactly we have to select the shape, and then we have to click alt and then drag our mouse right outside the shape. Okay, so as we do it here, we also have an instruction from the team saying that the recordings of previous classes will be shared tonight. Okay, so within today. Yes. So here I have duplicated it, and then here I am going to the layers panel. All right, I'm just checking where this layer is. Okay, so in order to create the depth, what I should have is whichever shape I am clicking and dragging out, that shape has to be below the other shape. Okay, because we are going to treat the shape which we duplicated as a shadow. Okay, so in order to do that, we have to have the shadow layer underneath the actual shape. Okay, now I have dragged it and dropped it below the other rectangle, which is going to be the actual shape. Now we are selecting this shadow layer. In order to get the exact color, I have selected eye. Okay, I have clicked on eye, which is the eyedropper tool. Okay, now I am selecting it here on this color. Okay, so now if you could notice, there will be a depth which is created. Okay, so here we have created the depth for our character. Alright, so after creating this depth, okay, now I feel that I can just move it a bit outside. Yeah, so now we have created the depth for our character. So now we will be back to the flipping tool that we saw about. Okay, so uh, Yarni, this is for you. Okay, so here I am selecting the eye tool. Sorry, eye icon that we created. Now I am just creating a duplicate instance of the same just to show this to you. So here I have created it. All right, so if in case I am trying to flip it. Okay, so I have created another duplicate instance of the very same shape just to flip it. Now having selected that, I am navigating to the properties panel which is shown here, and then from here I am going to the top part is in this transform section. So here we have two different icons that is there for flipping. Okay, so now I just want to perform a horizontal flip. So here I am clicking this first icon which is flip horizontally, so that the mirror of my existing shape is created. Okay, so if in case I need to flip it vertically, so here if I click on it, so the same eye will be flipped vertically. Can you see the difference? Yes. Yarni, hope you have understood it now. Okay, now going back to the next shape that we are going to create. So here the next thing that we are going to create is the mouth. Okay. So here when we look at the mouth, it just looks like a line which is bent, right? A curved line. So in Illustrator, we do have a tool to create a curved line like this. Okay, so to create a curved line, here in the toolbar, okay, we have something called as line segment tool. Okay, so here in the toolbar, in the fourth row, we do have the text tool and the line tool. Okay, so if we select this line tool, okay, and then draw a line, so a line will be created. Okay, so I'm just increasing the strokes strength just for you to see the line. Okay, so I am also, yeah. So this is how you draw a line here in Illustrator. Okay, if in case you want to draw a curved line, all right, so to do it, again, when you go to the line segment tool and long press, all right, there will be other options which are shown. From that, you have to select this arc tool, the second tool. Okay, and then once you have selected the arc tool, and then if you draw, an arc will be created. Now, when you go to the properties and increase its strength, there will be a curved line. Now what I am going to do is, in order to make it look like this, I am just going to rotate the curved arc that we created. Okay, so now I am bringing it and placing it here. It looks so big, so I am holding on shift and then I am scaling it. Okay, still it looks bigger. So again, what I am doing is I am holding on shift and I am shrinking the size of the arc. So now I have placed it here. To draw this line, we have to click shift as well, ma'am. Yes. So whichever you are trying to create without any mess. Okay, if you so okay, I'll just show this to you. So now I have selected the line segment tool. All right. So now I am just drawing the line without holding on shift. Okay, so it is possible that I can end up drawing my line in an uneven axis. Okay, or if you want to create this same line without restricting it to any one axis, you can just leave shift and then draw. Okay, in case if you want the same line to be drawn in only one axis, which is restricted, so can you see this now? So I can shift it, but it will act according to the angles exactly. Okay, so 0, 45, 90. So like that, the angles will shift. Okay, so this is how in line tool also you can hold shift and not hold shift and do it. Okay, so here we have created the curve, but when we compare to the reference that we have here, our curve looks a bit more thicker. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here in the settings, in the appearance, I am going to reduce the thickness of the stroke. Okay, now I have brought it to 2 pixels. Okay, now now how does our character seem? What kind of emotion our character conveys right now? Yes, can I get the answers just typed in a word here in the live chat? What emotion our character represents now? sad. Okay, yes. So as so many of you are saying, it looks sad. Now we are going to change the emotion that our character conveys just by drawing two other arcs. Okay, now again I am going to select the arc tool. Okay, now I am holding on shift, and then I am creating an arc like this. Okay. Now again, I am going to the properties. This time when I look here, there is no strength for the stroke. Okay. So in order to bring some strength for the stroke, and also considering that I have to bring in the equal strength of this mouth to the eyebrow as well. Okay. So here I am seeing the actual value of this arc size of the mouth, okay, to match it with the eyebrow. So here I am increasing it to 2 pixels so that the strength of the arc and the strength of the eyebrow arc will be the same. Okay, so here I'm just bringing it and placing it here. Okay, so I'm making sure that it looks exactly in the position where it is. So for that, what I'm doing is I am going to the switching to the direct selection tool by clicking the letter A. Okay. So here I am just selecting this particular node and then I am adjusting the position wherever it is placed. Okay. So here it looks too big. So I'm just reducing its size. Okay. No, there is a kind of bend. Okay. Yeah. So here I have created one arc. All right. So now again we are going to select this arc with the selection tool by pressing V, and then I am just duplicating an instance out of it. All right. Now I am going to use the flip tool again to flip it horizontally. Now I am going to hold on shift to transform this particular shape in the very same axis without getting lost in its data. Okay. So here I have held shift so that I am not able to move it anywhere other than its axis. Okay. So I will be able to move it in a constrained manner. So now I have brought it and fixed it here. Okay, so now my eyebrows are done. Now the remaining thing is I just need to fix in these two tiny teeth which are shown out like this. Okay, so for that I'm going to go here, select polygon tool. I'm just drawing the shape outside the artwork that we are creating now so that um, it doesn't disturb the existing artwork. Okay, so here I'm just swapping the fill color. Now I'm going to change this to 3 edges, and now I'm going to change the color of this to white. Okay, and I'm going to reduce its size even more. I'm just bringing it and placing it here. I'm rotating the icon. Uh, I'm rotating the shape here. Okay. And then I'll just move it like this. I'm just making in some tiny adjustments. just to fit in exactly the shape right above the mouth. Okay, so the same thing I'm going to duplicate and paste it here, but this time I'm going to flip it horizontally. So now my tooth is flipped horizontally, and again I'm bringing it and placing it here. Okay, so yes, we are done with our character. So next to this, here we have a few other kind of appearance wherein it seems like a switchboard to me, but yeah, I mean plug point, not the switchboard. So here I am going to bring in that kind of rectangle. Okay. So first, let me zoom in and observe what is there. Okay. So when I zoom in and observe, I get to see a rectangle which is shown here. Okay. And the rectangle which is in the background has this kind of light shade of yellow color. Okay. So to do it, what I'm going to do is here, I will draw a rectangle. Okay, and then let me click on eye picker, sorry, eyedropper tool, and then I will select the color which is here. Okay, now my base rectangle is created. So having created this, now we are going to go to the three squares which are on top. Okay. So here what we are going to do is, now we are going to learn one more tool which is going to be benefiting for us. Okay. So here when we take a closer look in on this square shape. Okay. So how many squares or how many shades? Okay, leave off this black color. So here we are able to see some two different shades of yellow color. Yes, so one is the pure yellow and the other one is the form, is the shadow that we have, which indicates that the object has some depth in it. Okay, so to create something like this, okay, what I am going to do is, let me first go back to the rectangle tool, and holding shift I am creating a square. Okay, now what I am going to do is, let me duplicate the square instance and place it here. Okay, so now I am going to create one more instance, one more I'm going to duplicate this square once more. Okay, and then I'm going to place it right above the square like this. Okay, and I'm going to extend it just a bit. Now I'm going to realign the square underneath the existing one. And then I'm going to pick the color for both these squares, which is going to match with this shadow color. So for that, again I'm going to the eyedropper tool, and then I'm selecting here. Okay, now I have selected both the squares. Okay, so observe this properly. So I have selected both the squares, and now what I am going to do is, here go to window, and in window you will have an option called as path finder. You have to select that path finder, and then here we have an option which says minus front. Okay, which means that whichever shape, I mean, when you click on it, okay, whichever shape is in the front, that shape will be subtracted from the two other shapes. So now when I am going to click on this option, the square shape is subtracted from the existing shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and place it over here and then just adjust the shape just to fit in the square. Okay, now can you see that we have created a form for our plain square. So now what I'm going to do is, since I need to move this, these two squares together, okay, I am going to group them. Okay, before I group them, I'm going to change the color of this square to this yellow. So I am again clicking on the eyedropper tool, then I'm clicking on here so that my shape's color is changed. So now I am just selecting both the squares together and then right click. Then I am giving this group option. So wherein I am grouping all the two squares together. So now my only thing is just to bring it over here and fit it here in the rectangle according to the size. And then yes, I am done with the first shape. Okay. Similarly, what I'm going to do is I will click on, I will just duplicate the existing shapes, which is here that we have grouped now. Okay. So to do that, again, I am going to the selection tool. Okay. By having this, having this square selected, I'm just clicking on, holding Alt and then I am dragging one more shape outside the existing square. And then I'm just placing the square according to my, to the gap that I require in between. Now I have placed it here. Okay. Now again, I'm just going to drag in one more shape and then I'm bringing it and fitting it here. Okay, so here I don't have any gap. Okay, but okay, if I closely observe here, I'm having a kind of small gap. Okay, but in the reference that we are creating doesn't have that small gap. So to do it, what I'm doing is I'm just selecting all the three shapes together. Then I am pulling it a bit above so that there is a gap created. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going to draw these rectangles which are black in color. So again I'm coming here just to avoid the just to avoid the spoiling of the existing shape. I'm just drawing a rectangle outside and then I am giving it a black color. So now I am just dragging and dropping it in. Now my shape looks too big than what it is expected to be. Okay. So here I will just reduce the shape. Okay, I'm just reducing the size of it. So once I have reduced the size of the shape, okay, here I am again duplicating it and pasting one more shape here. Okay, so now it looks like it has two sockets. So similarly, I'm just going to duplicate these rectangles Again, I am doing the same here as well. Okay, so now we have recreated the entire scene. Okay, but here just when we closely observe, we just have made these black rectangles a bit thin. Okay, so now and thin and long, but here it looks thick and short. So I'm just going to make that change alone. Okay, so now somewhat looks okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just delete these rectangles which we duplicated previously, and then now again I am duplicating this. Okay, yes, so our image is done. So I'll give you a quick 1 minute of time so that you can just post in your questions or whatever you learned or whichever concept you really liked while we were doing it in one word here in the live chat. Yes, I am going to give you just a quick 1 minute of time so that we can proceed for the next task that we have. Yes, keep your questions coming, and whichever has amazed you so far, you can also post that as well. Just in a word. Okay, duplicating shapes. Okay, fine, good. Any one word to convey whichever has amazed you so much. Instead of drag, we can also go to properties and increase the stroke. Can we? Uh, I mean, I don't get your question properly, Shruti. Can you please tell it clearly? Which one are you talking about? Pathfinder. Okay, you have a doubt in Pathfinder, or Pathfinder you loved it? Okay. Yes, so 1 minute is over. So if there is any other thing that you have, we will be taking that in towards the end of the class. And yesterday someone asked me what is the unit PICAS when we were seeing it. So PICAS. So PICAS is also a unit just like feet, inches, millimeters, centimeters, like that. When PICAS is actually used is whenever you are trying to create something very minute. Okay, so those times Picas is used. So Picas unit, to make you understand what is a Picas unit or how Picas will work is, just you know how or how big 1 inch will be, right? So Picas is 1/6 of 1 inch, okay, which means 0.6 inches is equal to 1 picas. So that tiny the unit is. So whenever you are handling some designs which has to be considered to be so minute, you can then switch to picas unit. Okay, so here you are saying, Shruti, um, okay, instead of drag, we can also go to properties and increase the strokes. Can be. Okay, so here you are saying, I'm very sorry, I'm not getting your question. You can please text the same thing in my WhatsApp or just send me a voice note or so that I can hear and tell you, guide you with the same thing. Okay. Yes. Now we will go into another one interesting technique that I always love. So we are now going to learn how to create masking. Okay. So there is something called as masking. So what is mask according to you? Can you please type in one word of what is mask according to you? M-A-S-K. What is a mask according to you? Just in a word. So after this pandemic, I'm sure we all will be reminded about the mask that we wear uh, on a years. Not that, but apart from that, what is the mask that you know or that you are able to remember when you think of the word mask? Can you type that in a word? Anything covers a part, protection. Okay. Okay. So as Gayatri has rightly given us an answer, anything covers a part. Okay. Something that hides the one which is underneath. Okay. So that is called as mask. Okay. So here in Illustrator as well, we will be able to create mask for anything. Okay. So I will now show you how a mask looks like. Okay. So here I am going to draw one square. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, let me open a set of images that I have taken here. Okay. Now I will scale this image. Okay. While you look at this image, the shape of this image looks rectangle, right? So now what we are going to do is, okay, I'll just convert this to circle. Yeah. So now what we are going to do this is, due to this is, even though if there is a circle shape inside this rectangle, still the image looks like a circle, right? So now we are going to place this circle inside the circle that we have drawn. Okay, so to do it, I am going to handle a technique which is called as masking. So in order to mask something, the compound path, okay, the vector which we draw here in Illustrator, I mean to be precise, the shapes that we draw here in Illustrator is called as compound path. Okay, COMPOUND path. Okay, PATH. So this compound path has to be on top of the image that we are going to mask. Okay, again I will repeat it. If you want to mask something, okay, if you want to mask an image, so how you will handle the technique is, your compound path, which is the shape that you are creating here in Illustrator, has to be on top of the image that you are going to mask. Okay, now where is our compound mask? It is underneath the image. Okay, so now we are going to bring our shape on top of this compound path. Okay, and then I'm going to place it right on top of the circle shape that we have in the image. Okay, now after we place it, okay, I'm just going to select both the shapes. Now I have selected both the image as well as the shape. And then I am just going to right click, and if I right click, I will get an option which says make clipping mask. If I give that, yes, my rectangle image has been masked, and now my rectangle image looks like a circle. Okay, so this image can be moved whichever part. Okay, when you just double click on the image, okay, so the entire image will be enabled here, and then you can just move your shape wherever you want to place inside the shape, inside the compound part that you have drawn. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to scale it even more, and I'm trying to place this circle, inner circle, exactly in the size of the shape that we have drawn. So now I have tried to zoom it, and then now I have brought in one shape, one image that is masked. Okay, one rectangle image that is masked and that looks like a circle here. So this is how you can mask anything. All right, so if you have understood the masking technique, type in mask if you have understood how you can do it. Cool. We have started receiving the answers here. Yes, so added to it. Whoever has understood this masking technique, type in mask if you have understood it. Superb. Great. Fine. So this is how you can use mask in your images. Okay. So mainly where you can use this masking technique is whenever you are trying to mask people's faces. Okay, so now what I will do is I'll just try to bring in some person's image here. Okay, so I'll just type in woman face. Let me see what kind of images that I get. Okay, so now I will take this face here. All right, so now let me just save the image. And now I'm going to save the image here. Okay, it's getting saved as. Okay, so I am just saving the image here in my system, and then now I'm back to this Illustrator. Okay, now what I'm going to do is let me just draw some polygon. Okay, and then I'm just rounding the corners of the polygon. So once I have done it, or yeah, okay, so now I have drawn a polygon here. Okay, just for me to know where the polygon is, I'm just giving it a fill color of black as of now. Okay, now I am just opening the image where I saved it. So this time I'm just dragging and dropping it here. Okay, so now I am placing the image right on top of the shape that we created. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, in order to mask, which is the thing that has to be on top? Is it the compound part, or it is the image that we have to mask? Which is the thing that has to be on top of the other? So can you please type that in the live chat in a word? If you think it is the compound part that has to be on top of the image when we are masking, you can type in compound part here in the live chat. Or if you think that it is the image that has to be on top of the compound part if we want to mask, you can type in image here in the live chat. Come on, quick, I'm expecting your answers at the earliest. So which is the thing that which is the layer that has to be on top of the other if in case we are looking forward to mask? So is it the compound part, or is it the image? If it is compound part, type in compound part here in the live chat. Or if it is going to be the image, type in image here in the live chat. Okay, Gayatri has given us this compound part. Others, what is it according to you? What is the thing? What is the layer that has to be on top of the other? Yes, we are getting beautiful answers. Shakti also has said it is compound part. Shruti has said it is compound part. Okay, superb. So we are receiving amazing answers from people. So as they have all beautifully said here, it is the compound part that has to be on top of the image if we want to mask. Okay, so in this case, I am just going to drag it and drop it here in the layer. And then here by seeing the shape, I am just trying to adjust my image accordingly. Okay. So I need to place my image exactly on top of, sorry, underneath the shape. Okay. Now, after I have placed it, I am just dragging like this and selecting both the compound part as well as this image. Okay. So after I select this, I just have to right click and I am just giving image has to be placed here inside the compound path. You can just bring it and place it, drag and drop it like this. All right, so this is how you can create compound part. So now that we have masked a compound part, okay, how will it look like if we create a stroke for the image that we have brought in? Okay, now I am switching here to the stroke and then I am just applying black color to it. Okay, then again I'm going to the property and then I'm increasing the stroke. Okay, so here, why am I not able to apply? Even if I select the image and even if I give it a stroke, okay, and even if I increase the strength of the stroke to 10 or 11, am I seeing the stroke here? Why do you think that I am not able to see the stroke here? Can you please type in your answers here in the chat box? Even if I select the layer and even if I apply the stroke to it and even if I increase the strokes strength here, why am I still not be able to see the stroke outside my compound path? What do you think might be the reason for this? Type in your answers just in a word here in the live chat. Yes, what do you think might be the reason for this? Okay, so here I will tell you. Now we have selected something here. Okay, but we don't clearly know, is it the image that we have selected here or is it the compound part that we had? Okay, so for that we have to open our layers panel and then if I expand it Okay, so here when I look into it deeply, it is the image that I have selected now. Okay, so stroke can be given to the shape and not the image. Okay, so to do is I am selecting the polygon. Okay, and then I am giving it a black stroke, and now I'm going to the properties and then I'm increasing its strength, and now I'm able to clearly witness that there is a stroke that is created outside the as the border of the compound path that we have created. Okay, so this is how you can give stroke to your existing compound path. All right, to make this even more interesting, what you can do is you can just cut down the stroke which is here. Okay, you can just duplicate this existing okay, now I duplicated the image. Okay, again I'm going to the layer, selecting the polygon. Okay, again I'm trying to click and drag in the polygon. Drag a polygon out of the existing shape. Okay, but this time where is my image gone? So the mask has removed it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is again I'm going to create a polygon. Okay, and again curve the edges of the polygon. Again I'm just going to place it here. Okay, and I'm holding on shift. Now I have placed it here. Now I'm just going to I'll just select the other compound part that I have created. Okay, so now I'm selecting this. Okay, so it feels difficult to select from there. Okay, just as of now I'm selecting it from the layer. Now what I'm doing is I'm just making this hexagon a bit smaller. Okay, now I am just adjusting it. All right, this time I am just going to give the stroke, and then I am just going to go to the properties, and then I'm going to increase the stroke strength, but still I am not able to see the stroke. Okay, so we are just going to explore why we are not able to see the stroke. Okay, here what happens is my image size is bigger. Okay, so here my image, even though if it is masked inside a shape, okay, still the image, the actual size of the image is still there, which is hiding the shape which is underneath the image. Okay, so for that what I'm trying to do here is the shape here, the polygon which is here, is inside the clipped group. Okay, so now I am just trying to drag it and drop it here outside. So as I do that, I am able to see my hexagon, see my shape which I have created now with a stroke. Okay, so this is how you can look, you can create beautifully looking images. Okay, so now can you relate? Are you able to relate where you can use these kind of images? Have you guys got any idea? You can type in the answer in a word here in the live chat if you have got an idea on where all you can use this technique of masking and bringing in different shapes. Yes, you can type the answer in a word. Where all do you think that you can use these kind of approaches towards the images? Okay, Benita has given us the answer that this can be used in posters. Very good. Yes. Badges. Superb. Where else? Where else you can use this? Okay, just in posters and badges. Brochures. Okay, good. Can we use this in business cards? Yes, we can use them in business cards as well. All right. So, okay. Then in the following week, when we discuss about UI and UX, we will be letting you know like how this technique can be used in the user interface that you come across in different applications. Okay. So Srivashni has said this technique can be used in logo, and Gayatri has said there's ID cards where we can use this. Yes, good. So we have numerous possibilities of wherever we can use this type of technique to create visually appealing images. Okay, so this is all about masking and its methods. All right. So now we are creative resumes. Yes, Kanishka, we can use it. So it is all about your creativity in however you want to create something like this. Okay. Now, since that every time I click on it, I tend to move it separately. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just dragging and selecting it, and then I am hitting on Control plus G together to group them. Okay, so the shortcut for grouping here in Illustrator is Control plus G. Please take a paper and a pen and note the shortcut and keep it is Control plus G in your keyboard to group elements together. So this grouping helps you navigate between the different sort of options together like this. Okay, so you needn't have to move things individually. So here, this character also, when we create, this was not created with only one shape, right? So we have used so many different shapes, arcs, lines, and all that to create this entire character. So now if we tend to move this, just one shape moves. Okay, so to avoid this kind of mess, we are just going to click on and select all the individual objects that we framed, and after selecting all that, now we are going to hit on Control plus G to group them all, so that as I move the character, I am able to move it on a whole. Okay, so this is how grouping helps. All right. Okay. Now we will explore into some other tools and techniques that are really handy and useful for us whenever we create a design. Okay, so the first thing is going to be the line segment tool. Okay, so as I was telling you, we can create lines using this line segment tool. Okay, so now I have drawn a line. All right, so here the line segment tool is taken as a stroke. Okay, it is not taken as a fill color. It is taken as a stroke. Okay, so whichever color we apply for the stroke, the line will be given with that color. Okay, now I'll just randomly choose in some dark pink kind of thing. So now here I will just increase the strength of the stroke. Okay, so now my line looks like this, right? So when I select this line, on top here there are few properties which are shown. Okay, so when we take a closer look on all the properties here in the fourth property, we have something called as a dash and then a text reads uniform. Okay, so we also have a drop down here. So when we click on the drop down, we are able to witness different shapes that are shown here. Okay, so these shapes are nothing but the shapes that you are giving your line. So now when I select the first shape, can you see that? So your line's shape is changed. Okay, so now as you increase the strength of the line, you will be able to see its shape clearly. Okay, so now we will explore to the second option. So like this, you can create different appearances of the stroke. Okay, so this is how you can create different appearances of stroke. So when you want to change the color of the stroke, here you can just go, hold, and you can just select whichever color you want to change, so that the respective color will be changed here for the stroke. So now my stroke looks like a leaf. Okay, so this is one good and handy technique that we can follow if we want to create good shapes in just a moment. This is one. The second thing that we are going to concentrate is pen tool. Okay, the shortcut for this tool is P. So if you click on this tool that is shown here, okay, it merely means that you are going to draw a shape. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am just clicking on pen tool and then I have clicked a dot. So as I click a dot and move the pen, okay, I am able to see a trace. So wherever I keep my pen tool, another point will be created. So like that, I can create whichever shape I want to. And finally, if I want to join the shape, I can just come back and click on the very same starting point that from where I created my tool. So now I have created a different path. Now as I swap the color, I can also fill in the color of the path. So this is how you can create different types of shapes using pen tool. Okay. So now next to this, again I'm going to take the very same pen tool. Okay, so this time we are going to create something that is very intense. All right, so please observe clearly. So previously I just randomly clicked like this. Okay, so what happened was there were sharp edges seen. So here my corner is very sharp. So here also my corner is very sharp. So like that, everywhere in the places wherever I click a new point, my edges look very sharp. So now we are going to learn how we can create curved edges using the pen tool. Okay, so again I'm going to go here to the pen tool and now I am keeping a dot here. So the first dot I have kept here and now it is the time for me to click on the second dot, but this time I am going to draw a curve instead of just clicking on it. So to do it, what I'm doing is I am just clicking and holding the pen tool, and whichever direction I want to create my next point, so in that direction I am clicking and holding, dragging my cursor. Now my second point created. Now again I am clicking and dragging the pen tool in whichever direction I am trying to create another point. So again I am keeping the cursor here. Okay, so like that. So whichever direction I want the pen tool to create a new shape. So in those directions I am clicking and dragging without leaving the cursor. Okay. So now when you notice the difference between this and this shape looks even more curvier than this one. Okay. So this is how you can create curves using your pen tool. All right. So whenever, this pen tool needn't be used as of now. Since you are beginners, please don't try using the pen tool because you have to know the logic behind creating shapes, creating different appearances for a shape using the shapes it's given here. Okay. So once you are very familiar with all that, you can then navigate to pen tool. All right. So this is the other thing that I wanted to show you here. Now next to the pen tool, we will see one more tool which is again amazing, like the line. Okay. So here in this side of the toolbar, okay, so we have something called as width tool. Okay, the tool's position is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, eighth position from the start. Okay, so now before I switch to this tool, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line, and I am also giving the strength for the line. Okay, so now I have increased the strength to 25 pixels. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to select the width tool which is here. Okay, so this time as I have selected the width tool. Okay, I'll just zoom in a bit more so that you can see things clearly. Okay, so now I have selected the width tool. So now what I am going to do is as I zoom in, I hope you are able to see a plus mark right below the width tool. Okay, so this plus indicates that you are creating a new width for it. So here again I'm having the plus which indicates, okay, now what I am doing is I'm going to create a new point for the width. I'm just clicking and dragging my mouse out of its position. So again I'm going to do the same here. Okay, so this time let me move my mouse out. And now I am again clicking and dragging out the position. So now if I want to adjust it, obviously I can deal it with the points that are here. Okay, so here I can also bring a new width, or I can just edit the existing width just by clicking on this icon which is here. And finally, I am trying to make this a curve, or So here you can also make changes like this. So out of nothing, I brought in the shape of a whale or shark or a fish or whatever you want, you can take that. Okay. So like this, you can create beautiful shapes out of the width tool. So you can also create in good appearing logos with the same width tool. Now what I'll do is I'll create an arc. Okay, let me just tilt the arc. Now again I'm going to the width tool. Okay, so like this you can create amazing shapes. Okay, again and again I land up at this shark. Okay, so some random shapes, or if you want to create some good logos, you can create that. Okay, so like this, just I mean, as of now, just to show you, I am creating something in random. But if you are taking in some references and if you try to bring in the exact shapes, you can create good things out of this width tool. Okay, so from here, yeah. So just in one click, you kind of create a cartoon character's hair or something. Okay, so you can just imagine you are placing some. Okay, I will bring the eyes of this character here. So let's just. I am taking the eyes. Let me duplicate it. I'll take it here. And then I'll paste it here. Okay. I'll just click on now this one. Okay, so you can just bring in a character's eyes just like that, just with the tool. That is all. Okay, so you can, I mean, everything is your creativity. Okay, so there is no limit that you have to handle only this or that. There is nothing like that, right? So as much as you tend to explore, so that much you can learn many things together. Okay, so for this character again, you can bring in some nose. Again, I'll draw a polygon, and out of this polygon, I'll just make in um, the size of the polygon to be 3. All right, so now I'm just curving in the triangle, and then I will just bring in one circle kind of thing, and let me color it with white. Okay, so this circle, I'll just place it here. And now what I'll do is, I will again draw one ellipse, and this time let me draw a mouth which looks a bit dark, or I'll just bring it in the very same color. Again, I'll draw in. Okay, so like this, you can just bring in some imagination into the real time. I mean, here in the images, just with some basic tools and stuff. Okay, so this is how we can use some basic tools like this, right? So just type in any one thing that that impressed you till now here in the chat box, just in a word. Type in two or three names of the tools that really amazed you till now. Yes, which are the tools that that made you go wow? Yes, see the answers coming. So which are the tools that amazed you so far? Okay. Yes, we have started receiving the answers. Superb. With mask, pen, good. Okay, others. Right. So as you guys keep your answers coming, so we will now go and explore few other techniques that you can handle. All right. Okay. So did you notice what happened now? So I try to group these things, all right, but the eyes are not selected because the eyes are already grouped with the character that we created. Okay, so in order to bring the eyes out, okay, so here I am trying to go find where the eyes are, and then I should bring both the layers out of this group, which is here. Okay, so to bring it out, I am just dragging it and dropping it here so that I brought it out of the character. Now I have selected everything. Now I am grouping all these together. So I am just able to move things together like this. Yes, so we have people who are saying mask, arc handle, pathfinder. So these are the tools that has amazed some of you majorly. So in this point of time, I would like to appreciate Anshi Esdar. Anshi Esdar, are you here? If you are here, kindly type in yes. So if Anshi Esdar is not here, so here I am telling that Anshi Esdar has really taken an effort to complete the exact representation of the image that I created yesterday, that I sent you on WhatsApp from this morning. So she has created the exact representation, and she has sent it to me. So that is really great, Anshi, and a big kudos to you. Yes, so I am expecting outputs from all of you, just like how Anshi has given her output. Okay, so the image that I sent you this morning is just for you to practice. Okay, so it is not the exact task that you are having. So, towards the end of the class, I will be sending you, or I will be displaying you the task that you have to do for this first 3 days. Okay, so as I told you on the day of orientation, you will be getting two different tasks, which will include, one task that is given as the result of the first 3 days, and the other task which will be given as a result of the second um, 2 days. Okay, so this is how you will be giving the tasks, and the first task will be up tonight, right? So as I tell you that, now we will move in to the next feature that we can explore. All right, so here we will see few other techniques. Okay, so here now we are going to go to this particular tool, okay, which is called as the paint brush tool. Okay, it merely acts like a paint brush. So as you choose the tool, okay, and as you move it like this, brush strokes will be created. Okay, so as you have creating in different stroke styles. Okay, so here I have changed it to the second stroke style, and now I'm increasing its pixels. Okay, can you see the brush itself is in different other appearance? Okay, so this is how you can deal with your paint brush tool, wherein you can just draw a streak, and then you can edit the streak according to whichever size or whichever shape you want it to be. So this is the paint brush tool. All right, now we are going to see some settings that we can have in order to gain some depth, or show some kind of transparency and all that. All right, so to do it, now what I'm going to do is, I'll just place this appearance on top of this leaf that I have here, or yeah, so I will just do it. So just to differentiate the color and show, I am changing the shark's color to some good blue. Okay, so now I am placing it on top of the leaf. All right, so now when I take a closer look on this side of my entire artboard, I'm not able to witness the leaf which is underneath. Okay, if I want to see the leaf, what is the move that I have to do here? In order to witness the leaf which is underneath this shape that is here, what is the move that I have to do? You can type in your answer in one word here in the chat. What's the one move that I have to do in order to make the leaf look enabled? Yes, type in your answers in a word. What do you think that I have to do in order to make the leaf visible? Okay, so we have started to get the answers. Okay, so the first thing that comes into our mind when we want to see an object which is underneath the other object is right click, arrange, send to back. So this is how we know how to make a shape look visible, right? But now we are not going to do that. We are going to play with the opacity level of this object which is on top. All right. So to play with the opacity level, here I am selecting the shape or the path, whichever I am trying to make it look transparent. Okay, so I have selected this stroke, and here in the toolbar that we have over here, okay, so here we have something called as transparency. All right, if you select that transparency, we will have this opacity set to 100. Okay, so this time I'm going to select it, and I'm going to reduce the transparency level. So now as I do it, the object's transparency is made bigger, and now I am able to see the leaf which is underneath. Okay, so like this, you can regulate the transparency of an object. Okay, so whichever object you are trying to make look transparent, or whichever object you want to see through the other object. So for those objects, you can just select them and then go over here to the transparency setting, and then uh, edit this transparency setting which is here. Okay, just with the slider, or you can manually type in the number that you want to uh, have. Okay, so now I'll just type in 20. So when I type 20, the object looks very transparent, and the leaf over here which is underneath the object looks very clear. Okay, now if I try to change it to 50, so the respective transparency is changed, and then we are not we are able to see the leaf which is underneath very clearly, but the color is not clear. Okay, so like this, for any object we can increase and decrease the transparency level. Okay, so now I will just apply transparency to this object which I am having here. So again I'm going here, and I am reducing the opacity level. So now if I tend to take it and place it here, I will still be able to visibly see the mouth or the shape whichever is underneath this streak. Okay, so this is how you can adjust transparency setting for your images. All right, so now we will go ahead and try creating this image that we have now. Okay, so I will just bring in the exact image and paste it here. All right, okay, so I'll delete these two as of now, and these also. Okay, so I will have the reference here. So the first thing that, okay, now I'm going to just create this circle alone, which is inside. Okay, so to create this, what I am going to do is I will click on ellipse tool, and I am drawing a circle. Okay, so now when I closely look, my circle has some gradient in it. Okay, so to bring that gradient color, okay, so here in the toolbar, I have a tool which says gradient. Okay, so a rectangle with different colors which are showing up. Okay, so if I click on this, means that I am applying gradient color to my object. Okay, so here also I can click on the gradient. Okay, so now I am not able to see the gradient because the gradient is applied for the stroke of this shape. Okay, so to show it, I am just increasing the strength of the stroke. Okay, can you see it? So the gradient is here for the stroke. Now let me just swap the color. So now the stroke, the gradient has gone from the stroke to the fill color. Okay. So now next to this, here we are going to fill in the actual gradients. All right. So to do it, again, by selecting the object, again, I'm going here to the gradient. Okay. So now when I keep my cursor on top of this uh, point, which is representing gray color. Okay. So I am double clicking on it, right? So now an appearance will be shown here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is here I'll switch back to the color swatches. Okay. On top right corner, I will have a menu kind of appearance. All right. So if I click on it, it shows grayscale, RGB, HSB, CMYK, web safe RGB. Okay. So in this aspect, I am going to click on RGB, or I can even select CMYK colors according to whichever type of colors I want to handle. Right. So now after giving that, let me just move my slider in R, G and B according to the colors that I am trying to match here. Okay. And now, okay, I have closely created the color, or even if I want, I can even pick the color picker and then I can bring in the exact color. Now I will add in one more point in the gradient line just by clicking here. Okay, if I just keep my cursor, I can see a plus mark right below the cursor. Okay, so if I click there, another point will be added. Now again, by double clicking on it, okay, again I'll go to the color swatches, or even if I want, I can pick the color. Now I am picking in the second color that I want. Okay, now again I'm going to click one more point and I'm going to pick the color for that point. So this time I am trying to bring in the third color that shows here. Okay, and again I'm clicking one more point, and then this time I'm going to choose the fifth color, and the fourth color. The fifth color will be the green. No, green color can be given in some other color gradient. Okay, now I have brought in 5 different shades for 5 different colors, but when we see the difference between this gradient and this gradient, so this kind of shade is in the center of the circle. Okay, but here when we see, okay, so here the gradient violet is in the center, but here it is somewhere looking like a line. Okay, so to control it, in gradient we have 3 different types of gradient. Okay, so the first one is linear gradient. The second one is radial gradient. So as the name says, it is the gradient that works based on the radius of an object. The third gradient is free-form gradient. Okay, this free-form gradient allows you to create gradient colors wherever you create a new point. Okay, so these things will be taught afterwards. So as of now, when we look at this radial gradient, okay, we can just adjust the circles which we have here. Okay, so that, yeah. So here we can just adjust the circles that are shown. So we can just swap the colors according to wherever or however we want them to appear. So now I will bring in this color to the center. Okay. So just if I closely adjust each and everything of it, I will be able to match the exact radial gradient which is shown here. So whichever thing we don't feel like having, so that it is like so much addition to the object, we can just delete them. And as you are able to see here, we can even increase and decrease its opacity level. Okay, so I'm just trying to match it closely so that it looks somewhere similar. Okay, it does not look very similar, but yeah, it is somewhere close to the gradient that we have. All right. So now the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create this shape. Okay. So as we created the square shape when we cut two things out of it, the same thing we are going to do it here. Okay. Now I am moving it a bit. Okay. Again, I am going to select both of these. I'm going to enable Pathfinder and I'm going to subtract the one. And now I am going to give it a solid color of white, or this color, I mean white with the transparency level to it. I'll just make the transparency level, I mean half transparent. And now I'm going to bring in this part inside this. So here I am going to flip it horizontally so that it fits the shape. Okay, now we have fitted the thing. So now the third thing that we are going to do is we will create this particular streak which is shown here. Okay, so to do it, I will try to create it just with the line. Okay, so we will see if we are able to create using the line and the width tool. So now let me give the stroke a color. Okay, so I'm just, okay, let me pick this color itself. I will now go to the width tool. All right, so here when I take a closer look, so here we are able to see um, a shape. Okay, now what I'll do is, as a first move, I will expand these shapes. And now I will again expand this as well. Okay, or so here let me try to bend the shape like this. Okay, so again I'll give OK, and now here I will again make it look curved. So this time I'm just bringing it a bit like this. Okay, so the same thing I am doing for this space as well. So I will just click on the width that we created, double click on the node, and wherever we want to apply the alteration for our shape, so we are doing that. Okay, and likewise we will edit the entire shape. So as of now I am just making it very random because um, we are running out of time. Okay, so somewhere we have got the thing, but now we will see if we can apply the gradient color to it. So this time we are going to switch to the linear gradient. Okay, so we are going to delete some of the nodes which are already present here. We are just going to have a few, and now I am going to pick colors from here. Okay, first I will select this node, then I will select the pink color which is here. Okay, okay, so we have one more node which is there. So can you see as I move the gradient a bit closer or far from the other, the colors keep coming flawless. Okay, they don't overcrowd or they don't have that kind of obvious reflections on them. So then finally I am choosing this color. Okay, now I have created the gradient. Okay, just with the width tool we have brought in this. So now let me place it here, and we'll try to expand it here. Alright, so now again I will go back to the width tool. So here I need to make corresponding changes to the curve. Okay, so now I am not going to do it because we are already running out of time. We will go to the next shape which is here. So this time which shape we can handle. Mm, can we go to polygon? Okay, so we will try to create this triangle here. So I will switch the edges to 3, and let me curve it. Okay, so this time I will hold shift and select these two points which are here the same way these 2 points which are here. All right, and now let me change the color, and now I'll bring it here and paste. Okay, this looks bigger, so let me just move it behind this. Okay, just by adjusting the node I made sure that there are no edges. no sharp edges. Okay, so here I kind of feel a weirdity in this space here. So I am just going to the sorry, direct selection tool by holding on A, and now here I am adjusting the node to make it look blunt. Okay, not the sharp one. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll try to create these two things which are on top. Okay, so to create them again, we will maybe choose the arc tool. Okay, so now I have chosen the arc tool, and now I will increase its uh, strength. Okay, so here, when we look at the shape, okay, the shape looks curved in both the edges, right? But when we draw a line or arc, our edges look sharp and straight. So to regulate this, what we are going to do is we are going to go to the direct selection tool here, and then we are going to click on one anchor. So as we click, there are few options which are showing up. So from these options, I am going to select this option which says convert convert selected anchor points to smooth. So once I give that, okay, so now what I am going to do is yeah. So now what I am going to do is here, as I have given this option, all right. So here I am going to see if my shape is converted to a rounded corner. So as I am doing that, your attendance link is put up here in the chat. You can please look at it, and please register your attendance. Once you have registered your attendance, you can please type in yes here in the live chat. All right. So now as okay, done. So people have started giving your attendance. Okay. So what I did here was I chose this direct selection tool. Before direct selection tool, I chose the curvature tool, and then I got one arc handle, and now I am bringing the arc handle like this and making it look like a curve. The same thing I am doing it here. So I will do it again for you and show. So I chose this curvature tool which is here. Okay, so once I did that, I have got one extra arm, okay, the arc which is here. All right, so what I am doing is I am clicking on the arc, just moving my cursor in a clockwise, sorry, in an anti-clockwise to create that that kind of curve here. Okay, so if you want this thing to be closed, you have to move the arc handle a bit outwards. So the same thing I am doing here for this as well. So this is how I am creating a curved line. Okay. So now what I am doing is I am going to give this stroke a pure white color. So once I have done it, I am going to take it and place it here. So according to the reference that we have, I am just trying to adjust the curve. Okay. So now we have got one streak. So the same thing I'm just duplicating. Let me rotate it and then let me make it small. So as I do this step, there will be a kind of reflection, or there will be a kind of shining thing that seems to be created. Okay, so this is how you can bring in reflections to your surfaces, or whichever I mean, still we have one green color stroke which has to be created here, but now we are not doing it because it's already time. And like I mean this image was recreated just for you guys to see that there is no particular definition, or there is no particular methodology that you should handle when you are creating something. Okay, it is that you just have to know what is the tool, and you just have to know how you can use the tool, and that is how you can create good and visually appealing images. All right, so having said this, here I am displaying one more image. Okay, so this is the task that you will be getting. This image is the thing that you have to recreate for your first activity. Okay, it's a very simple image. It's just the combination of all the tools that we have learned. So try recreating the same thing exactly as it is. Okay, and as you received the other image this morning, same way you will be also receiving this exact image in your WhatsApp tonight, or possibly by tomorrow morning. So once you give this image completed, it will be marked that you have you have submitted one of your tasks. Okay, so till here our Illustrator gets completed, and tomorrow we will be starting off with Photoshop, and we will also explore few more tools and techniques that we can handle in Photoshop, like how we did here in Illustrator. So having said that, you will also be circulated with a Drive link where you will be uploading your personal assignments And with that, we will be evaluating what is how your work is, right? So having said this, here I am winding off for today's class. Thank you so much, and let's meet in tomorrow's class. Bye. Good night. Thank you, Fatima.